Hello, welcome to the third part of the Advanced UiPath Document Understanding video series. So in this section, we'll be talking about the data extraction and we'll be specifically focusing on the AI fabric and the ML extractor. So this video will be broken down into separate sections because we have multiple extractions like the machine learning extractor, regex extractor, form extractor, and so on. So it's a wide topic to talk about. So it will be broken down into small sections where we will be focusing on different extractors in each part of the video. So in this one, 3.1, we'll focus on the ML extractor and the AI fabric. So to start, if you are new to this series, I do recommend go through the UiPath Academy, the two courses what you see here, and also follow the part 1 and part 2 videos so that you can get an understanding about the scenario that we are following. So in this section, in part 1 and part 2 we covered the extract data and classify document sections. In this one we'll be focusing on, basically in the coming set of videos in the data extraction part, we'll be focusing on the highlighted one. And in this section, as I explained, we'll be using AI Fabric and we'll be trying to create AI models for invoices, purchase orders, and utility bills. And we'll also focus on how to use the machine learning extractor in the workflow and connecting the ML models into the machine learning extractor. Okay, so before we start, I think it's a good idea if we can uh, run this process and show you the output, because in my previous video I actually didn't show you that. So we covered up until the point where we are organizing the files into a different folder. So let me show you that part. So this is our folder where we are going to store the data, basically the processed files. So let's run this and see how it looks like. So I'm going to run the workflow. And this is our folder. So as we configured, it is asking for a folder path, which I will provide now. So it's in the input files folder. And while you keep an eye on these processors, so the studio is running in the background. What I want to show you is how it's going to uh, move the files into this folder and how the background processes are executed based on how we configure. So you can see a lot of processes are running in the background and the folders has automatically got created. So you see a lot of things happen in the background and it's still running. And now it has gone into the suspended state because we should complete some actions as we did in our previous video. So we have 3 classification actions to complete. So I should assign it to myself. So either it's asking whether it's an invoice or not. So I will save it. So this is that combined file where we have 2 types. It shows invoice and purchase order for the 2 pages. So these things will be trained over the time. So we'll focus on that in our later videos. And I'm resuming this, and it will complete the process. So you can see the files are inside our processed folder. Okay, so continue from there, we now need to create uh, machine learning models for invoices, purchase orders, and utility bills in AI Fabric. So let's see how we can do that. So over here, we need to download few schemas. So you need to go to this URL. It is the configuring data manager. The URL is provided in the video description. You can get it from there. So once you get into this page, you scroll down, you get a set of links. There you can download the predefined schema for each of these, for invoices, purchase orders, and utility bills. So just click on it and download these zip files and extract them. And once you extract, we'll see how we can add them to the AI Fabric. So in my case, I have downloaded them over here into 3 folders, and let's see how we can add it to AI Fabric. So this is my automation cloud. I'm using a trial version. So if you have not used AI Fabric earlier, uh, go to admin, and under this section, um, go to edit services and enable AI Fabric from here and save it. Also, go to configure licenses and add the 2 AI robots available and save. So this will enable you the AI Fabric service. It will take a couple of seconds, but it will complete soon. And then go to AI Fabric. So over here we need to create a new solution for this. So you can click on create project and give a name. I would say document understanding, and create it. This is the dashboard that we are getting. So the first part that you need to do is you need to add the downloaded files into the data sets. So while we get to data sets, if we can quickly explore what files we have for invoices. um, so we have 2 files. One is the split command delimited file. So we open it. This is all you have. It says file subset. And if we open the schema.json, it will have the fields and the data types of the invoice that machine learning model will provide you. So similarly, it will be the same for all the other 3. For BO also, you will have those 2 files. Why I have 2 different versions? I earlier used the previous one, so I'm now using the latest, which I downloaded from this part. So 20.7 means it's using the 20.7 version. Okay, so we'll upload these files into AI Fabric now. So we have 3 types: invoices, purchase orders, and utility bills. So all you need to do is you can just create a new folder and provide a name, invoices schema. If you want, you can provide a description as well and create it. So under invoices schema, I'm going to upload the files that I have in the AI Fabric Invoices folder, these two, and I will place it over here and upload, and you can see those two files. Likewise, you have to get back to datasets, create a new folder for schema. In here I'm going to upload the purchase orders, uh, this and this file. Doing the same for utility bills. Create utility bills schema, upload files. Okay, so you have all the files in the data sets, 3 sets, and now going to ML packages. So we are using the out-of-the-box packages available, and going inside document understanding. So here we have the models that we are going to use. We have invoices, purchase orders, and utility bills. So let's create the uh, packages. So I'm going to click on invoices first. So this is a retrainable model, and it is having 3 versions. So I'll be using the latest one, and click on submit. Here you need to provide the package name. So I will provide a name like this. Invoices. So you can provide any name as you wish. If you want, you can change the descriptions, and OCR I'll leave the rest as it is, because I'm not using any OCR at the moment for ML model. And here we have it as undeployed, and now I need to create a new one. Again, going to out of the box, document understanding, purchase orders. In this one, the latest version is 2.0, and it's also retrainable, and I'm creating that. I'm not changing any properties as earlier, so I'll be just creating the package, and it is also undeployed. And lastly, I'm going to create the utility bill. The latest version is 2.0. Okay, so we have all 3 packages created, and now we need to create the machine learning skill. So I'm going to ML skill and click on create new. So here I'm going to provide a name. I'll say skill invoices, and I'm going to choose the package ML package invoices. The major version is the latest version, which is the 3 that we selected. Mine is always 0. ML model for invoices, and create. So this will take some time to be available. So right now it's deploying. So in the meantime, we can create the rest of the scales. Again, this is for purchase orders. Purchase order. And I'm selecting the purchase order package we created. Latest version is 2.0. I'm not enabling GPU because using the trial and I don't have that available. So basically GPU is the feature that gives you more processing power to execute these models and train them. So by default, the power that we have is enough to perform our usual task. So this one is for utility bills. I will select the utility bill and create. Okay, so as you see, the status is deploying and it will use the schemas that's available in the data sets to deploy this model. So this will take some time. Uh, so I'll be pausing the video for a couple of minutes until the status is available. So we'll start once it's deployed. So we have the packages available now, the scales we created. So let's go ahead and create our workflow. Okay, so this is where we stopped previously, and once this section is complete, the next part is using the data extraction scope. So before doing that, we need to think of one small thing. The API key that we are getting from the cloud platform. So as you noticed in the variables, this API key is coming in as a secure string. So at some point, if we, for classification, if we require manual classification and create a document classification action and wait and resume, once you resume, this object is going to be null. So because of that reason, we need to uh, get the secure string again before going into data extraction. So what you can do is, so right above we used the same activity, get API key. We can use the same thing, copy it. So even though it's under parallel for each, with the when we are going to resume and start again, is going to become a null value. So you will actually see that once you execute without this activity over here, it will throw you an error. So I will say get API key extract. So I'm going to assign that to the same output variable. So once you do that, you can go ahead and use the data extraction scope and place it right below the API key. And now the document path, we need to provide the file path to the document. So as you remember in the previous video, we assigned the document path to a new variable called classified document path, and the document text is coming from doc text document object model and the document taxonomy. So for classification, as you know, if you check the variables, the validated classification result is an array of type classification result. So as we discussed in our previous video, we said that we are going to parallel process each classification, and that's why we included the parallel for each here. So in case of a document that has different types, we'll be processing each of those parallelly as discussed. So to do that, we need to take the each classifier variable in this for each, and that's what we are going to use in the data extraction scope. So why I thought of doing it like this is because the extraction part we have a lot of things to discuss, and um, going through the pre-built uh, workflow might get you confused. That's why I'm doing it along with the video. So as we discussed, here we need to use each classifier variable. So we are using each classifier over here. Uh, and once you do that, we need to get the output of the extractors into another variable. So I'm going to use the automatic extraction data variable, which I'm going to create now. Automatic extraction data. So again, the scope of this variable is going to be uh, inside the process. Uh, yeah, it's going to be inside this our innermost sequence, which is process document for each classification, because this extraction result is unique for each classification we are extracting. So once you do that, in properties you have configured it, everything, and now we need to use the extractor. So I'm using the machine learning extractor over here. So once you place it, you will get this agreement. All you need to do is I click on I agree, and it will ask for the endpoint, ML skill, and the API key. So what you have to do is you need to go to your cloud platform, copy the API key, and place it over here. So in my cloud platform, you need to go to other services, copy the link or the API key, and place it over here. And we are using the ML skills, so we are not using the endpoint. So by default it won't show it here. Just click on this refresh button and it will load the ML skills that we created. So first one is the scale for invoices, which we will use it now. So select that and have this enabled and click on get capabilities. So why we are doing this is because we need to get the capabilities of the invoices and map it against the fields that we have. So I'm clicking on get capabilities, and the API key will be available over here. And now you need to configure the fields. So I will rename this for invoices and go to config extractors. Here you will see your machine learning extractor that we placed for invoices. Expand this, and so on the left hand side we will have all the document types we created in the taxonomy. So we are processing invoices, so at the moment we are not worried about any of the other types. So expand this, and on your right hand side you will see a set of drop downs. Now we need to map the fields coming in from the invoices machine learning model into the fields we are using. So you might have different fields depending on what you have created, so map it accordingly. So for invoice number, from the drop down I'm going to use the invoice number field, and for invoice date it's the date. Vendor address is going to be vendor address. Total amount is the total. So here we have the line items. So for line items, you have to select the items which will give you the sub items for this description, quantity, and the rest. So down here, it won't show you all the other fields that was available when you were selecting the fields above, because here we have selected items and we are inside that section, and it only shows the fields that you can use for line items. So for description, map it as the description, and for quantity you are going to use that unit price and the line amount, and click on save. So you have configured the first item for invoices. We have something additional to do here. So here if you see, the API key is hard coded. So we need to use the field that we are getting from this asset inside it instead of hard coding. So you can easily convert it. So we did that over here in the intelligent keyword classifier. So just copy that and scroll down. So instead of this hard coded value, paste the new code. Because we are using the same variable, so we can use the exact same code over there. Okay, so now you have configured the invoices, and do the same for purchase orders and utility bills. So I'm using the machine learning extractor again next to this. Again, you get the same uh, screen. All you need to do is copy the API key. So at the initial point here, you have to provide the API key. You cannot provide that code, because through this only it will work. So paste it, refresh, select the purchase order, get capabilities, and you are done with that. Here I will rename it as purchase order for us to easily identify. Going to configure extractors. Now you see two machine learning extractors. So we are not going to use the new extractor we use for invoices, because we already have one for that. So we will be configuring only the purchase order section. Here we have all the fields we are getting from the taxonomy, and for PO number, I am using the PO number. PO date is the date, and name and address, vendor name and vendor address, shipping name, the delivery date. So again, for PO items, just like we did earlier, we need to go to items and the line number, item description, quantity, uh, unit price, and the line amount. You can also try different options available based on the output that you get to find the best output. So for example, if you're not sure for line amount, whether it's a line amount or line net amount, get the output from the validation station and see whether it's picking up the correct one and change it accordingly. Okay, for now we'll use the line amount to see how it works and click on save, and again copy this code into this part. Okay, so we have two extractors. Now again we need to use the next machine learning extractor that we did for utility bills. So first we need to get the API key, utility bills, get capabilities, and going to configure extractors. We have the other one. Before that I will rename this utility bills, and now we are going to process the utility bills section. So billing name, billing address, vendor name, vendor address, account number, invoice number, total amount, invoice date, due date, payment address, service from date, and service to date, payment terms, previous balance, and the utility bill document type. So all these are available in the machine learning model. Okay, and click on save. And again, we are going to replace the API key with the code that we are getting. Right, that's how we configure the machine learning extractor to get or to use the skills we created in the AI fabric. Now we can see the output using uh, the validation station. So how we are going to verify the data, that we'll talk about in a later video. For now we'll see what sort of output that we are getting for this one. So we'll simply use validation station. So we'll be talking about how we should use the validation action and how we can resume and how we should decide whether we need to show the validation station or not in a different video that's focused on the validation segment, because it's a totally different topic. For now, to see the output, we'll use the present validation station. So the document path is again classified document path, the document text, uh, document object model, doc taxonomy, and automatically extracted data. And this variable will create for now, and this is going to be validated extraction data, and this is also inside this sequence. Okay, so now we can run it and see what sort of output that we get to execute this. So we'll save it and we'll do a quick run. So we will see only the output for the 3 documents we processed, and the rest will not be extracted. Input files. So you can see it running in the background. And we got the output for the first document, because in the folder we have different document types. That's why you are not getting this, because we are at the moment only focused on invoices. So we'll mark this. We'll just continue and save. And this is the other type. Okay, so we have the purchase order, and for this one we see the extracted results. So let's see. We have the purchase number captured. If you're not sure where that is, you can click on it and it will highlight over here. So that's accurate. Purchase date, the client name, it's over here. Purchase control, address, it has captured nicely, and you can see the breakdown as well. Vendor name has not got captured. So in that case, what you can do is you can simply highlight, and by pressing the control key and click on plus, and it will pick it. This address has also got captured. Supplier name, shipping name, which is different, so we'll leave it for now. The delivery date again. So we are not doing the validation right now. We're just seeing how the output has got captured. So we don't have any line numbers, but here there's a simple small difference. So these things can be trained and fixed over the time. Yeah, so we'll confirm this for now. And let's see what the invoice looks like. So for this invoice, we have a couple of problems. We don't see the invoice number extracted, even though it's over here. The invoice date has not got extracted. Vendor address is not extracted. So these things can be fixed. But the line items is correct. So we'll see how to fix these with the regex extractor. So why I'm doing that is because I need to show how to use different extractors to extract data from the same document. So we'll talk about that in the section where we are focused on the regex extractor to extract those data. So for now we'll leave it. So you can see that places where we can improve the machine learning models by training them. So we are getting all the data and it's in resume state. We'll see our actions. So here we have a couple of invoices and purchase orders. We'll see how the output looks like. So first we need to confirm the classification, and for this as well. Okay, and I'm going to resume this. So you can see it's running in the background. Okay, we got the other invoice. Here you can see the fields that got extracted. We have the invoice number, date, vendor address has not got picked up, and we have the line items extracted. So it's looking good. We'll see how to validate these things in a later video. For now, I'm just showing you the output, and this is the other invoice we just resumed. And you see the confidence level, the value, and the line items. Here we have additional line. Let's see what's causing that. So because here we have two lines, it has identified that as two different items. So you can just remove it for now. And this is the combined file where we have two pages. And this is the invoice part of it. You can see all the values extracted without any problem. And this is the purchase order we have. The client name is not there. You can add it. And we have some information missing, so we'll see how to extract those later by training the models. So for now we can indicate and highlight and add them. So again, for course you can highlight and add, and this one is not getting highlighted, so in that case what you can do is you can provide the range and add extracted value, which will enable you to type it. 19386. So that's how you can extract the values using the models that we have created. So over time we need to improve the AI models by training them. So those things are left for later discussion because that's a separate topic. So for now, this is how we can use the AI, the trained AI models in AI Fabric in the document understanding workflows to extract the data from different type of documents. So in the next part, we'll see how we can use the regex extractor to extract data from different type of other documents like the form 4, and how we can extract some missing information in these invoices using the regex. So that will be a combination of machine learning extractor and the regex extractor. So we'll talk about that in the next video, and hope you found this informative, and I will attach the solution in the video description for you to download. And thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.